So we finally got the original engine out, and I cleaned and washed the whole engine compartment. So this is getting ready for our 4AG. Finally get this thing done. So I'll get a time lapse of the motor going back in and starting to get this car finished up. If you guys haven't seen the 4AG, here it is. I've had it done for a while. Everything's on it, ready to go. Just getting all the small little details done that I needed to finish. You know, I needed an alternator bracket. I got that done. Got an alternator for it. I need to make this upper mount. All these little fittings, I'm probably going to run AN fittings for all the cooling system. We had to build a plate for the back. So there's a lot of little small details that you don't realize that I had to take care of before I put the motor in the car. So I got motor mounts from T3. I got this exhaust flange from CNC Innovations, all stainless, so I could start working on the header. Got the valve covers powder coated. I did all this little black trim pieces, got this little TRD oil cap. Try and get this in actually the beginning of the week before Thanksgiving. Man, I can't wait to see this in the car. So we got the factory motor out. There's the 4KC that was in it. EFI. I know it's a kind of a rare engine. If anybody does want it, let me know, because if not, I'm probably going to dump it. Has a 5-speed trans on it. Unfortunately, I just don't have the space for it, and I kind of got to get rid of it. So I'm going to hold on to it for a little bit before I dump it. But we got the engine in, and man, I got these Techno Toy Tuning motor mounts that at first I didn't think would work, but they worked out pretty good. I have some Corolla style motor mounts in there, which is the actual rubber mount. These I got from Techno Toy Tuning. Same thing, so the motor bolted right up. The only thing I don't have is a transmission mount, so I'll work on that, and then, you know, all the wiring and stuff that I gotta figure out, and then plumb the fuel system. I got a little crazy here and I cut all the wires to the ECU, unfortunately. Again, something that I just don't really, you know, I just trying to make it as easy as I could to get the engine out of the car. But yeah, motor's in. This is actually, give you guys a little rundown. The intake manifold is from Genvi. They're actually in the UK, so they gave me a pretty good deal on that intake manifold. I did have a shorter style one that came from Australia or New Zealand, I think it was. But I kind of like this one more. I don't know. The flange is a little thin. I'm a little worried it cracks on me, but I'm hoping with these gussets, it strengthens it enough to where I don't have an issue with it. And I don't know. I guess we'll see. You know, time will tell. But these are actually kind of loose on there. But I got the fuel rails for this. These are TWM 48mm throttle bodies. And yeah, it's got some pretty big cams in this thing. I'll get the alternator in it. And I'll start fabbing up the header. That's next on the list. So I got the flange. Fits pretty good. Lines up pretty nice for the header. I've had all the header material, as you can see down here. So what I'm going to do with the header is I'm going to build a 4 into 2 into 1, and I'm going to step it. So these are gonna have 1 5/8", which is what these are coming out of the head. So if you look over here, you can kind of see where they built this flange to accommodate. Actually, this is 1 3/4". I got a ton of 1 3/4". Here we go, 1 5/8". So you can see where it fits right in there, and just gives it a little bit of support where you could weld it and not just weld the flange right to, or you butt the flange, or you butt the header tube right to the flange. So has that little notch, and then I will step it to the 1 3/4". So it'll be 1 5/8 to 1 3/4. It'll go up to that. So if you look here, you can see how the 1 5/8 will kind of slip inside of there. So that's what I'll end up doing here. I'll step the header, and then, like I said, we'll do 4 into 2 into 1. I'm trying to get some more torque out of the motor, since these engines do not have a lot of torque. So it will be these two collectors that will be kind of side by side, that the 1 3/4 tube will run into. And then from there, I will step it up to the 2-inch. So these are 2-inch. So once the header, the primary tubes come out, they go into these 2-inch tubes, which is what this is here. This is 2-inch. And then from there, this will run flat underneath the car, and then exit out here 2.5 inch. So the whole exhaust will be 2.5 inch. So that's the plan for that. So that's the collectors already done. And then I'll run a flex pipe just to, you know, soften up the stress on the actual exhaust system. So again, this is 2.5 inch. I don't have a muffler yet, and but I will get one. First and foremost is to get the header done and V-band it all. I'll V-band it with the collector, so it's easy to take off if I have to, you know. But let's see, inside the car, interior needs a little bit of work. I plan on getting the seats redone. That'll definitely happen. I want to change the interior to black anyways. I don't like this tan interior, this brown. It's bad enough that the car's got the tan color, so I gotta redo that. This came out of my race car, so I'm actually going to use this tack, which I think is pretty badass. I don't know if you guys seen this. It's kind of a stepped RPM gauge. So it basically starts real slow on the lower end, and then here you can see it better. So 0 to 6,000 is real slow, and then once it ramps up to the higher RPM, it spreads out, so it's easier to watch. And then it's got a recall and all that stuff, so it's pretty cool. I think it even has a playback, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna get that in there. I gotta get the tranny mount done. I haven't done that. I got this little rig holding up the transmission for now. Let me show you guys the wheels I have for it. So over here I got some 13x7 Panasports for it. Actually performance wheels. So I don't know if you can see that there, the 13x7. So got brand new little tires on it, some Nankings, 175 50s I think they are, if I'm not mistaken. They were actually a real pain in the ass to mount on here. So yeah, 175 50 13. So all the tires are mounted. I'm gonna pull the shocks off and pull all the wheels and shocks. I'll replace the shocks in there, and then I'll, you know, either cut the springs, or I gotta figure out what I do with the springs to lower the car. But I want to get all the suspension sorted out before I you know, put the wheels on, so that'll be next. But yeah, man, I'm pretty excited with it. I got the starter. It's gonna have a standard distributor. It's gonna be real simple, nothing crazy. It might only have a fuel only Haltech as well. I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna put in here. I have a few units that I gotta see what I decide to put, but keep it simple so it's relatable to guys, and not make it too complicated. But I will give you guys more updates on it as I start getting going on the header, so that'll be next. Fuel system, I gotta go look at the fuel pump in this car. Even though it has a fuel injection pump, I don't think it's big enough, but I gotta kind of tackle all that. So all right, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.